people I see driving in India, they all have sixth sense.
Have you experienced any kind of paranormal activity in your life, or have you seen any such hallucinations or something?
So anyone who talks of Bhagwan's words, I am perfect, it is the other who is not perfect.
Yes, I see that young children have started getting into relationships as early as the age of 12 and 13 now. So what will be your advice to a young teenager in that case?
I was just out of prison also without anything.
From somebody who has been there, done that, and who has lived a whole life of, you have a rich experience of everything in life. That is what I came to know about you. I have been following your biography and your whole life trajectory for last 1 month, more than 1 month now, and I see that you have a rich experience as a woman, and I would love to learn from you, and also want my audience to learn from your lived experience.
Absolutely. You just begin with your questions.
Yes, ma'am.
And I will tell you from my heart how I feel or how I deal with it.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. And if there is any question, although I have taken care of my all the list, but if there is anything you do not prefer to answer, then you please let me know, ma'am. Okay.
Absolutely. I answer all questions. I have answered all the questions in my life.
I would just want to know, first question which I would love to ask from you is that I went through your life story, your experience in the ashram, your experience when the ashram got dissolved or when you left the ashram. So you have gone through a lot in life. That is what I realized. Something which is very dreaded by common women still. So, how did you take care of your own mental health then? What was the thought process which was going on? What did you tell yourself each time when you could have felt discouraged, you could have felt sad, you could have felt broken number of times? What was your basic thought pattern at that time? I would love to know that.
It was immense trust in existence that if this difficult moment are coming to me as a result of existence, I have to accept it and learn to walk through it. And I have dealt with every situation, good, bad, and ugly, through that approach. Accept it. There should be enough intelligence in my small brains to deal with it.
Yes.
And there was also courage that I had learned from my parents, that we have no reason to be afraid.
Wow. So this explains that you had a lot of faith and you had a lot of courage.
Right. And my life is based in love.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And it has proven a wonderful life, enjoyable life.
So you had faith in yourself. Will it be right to say?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So just as you said that you had a lot of faith and you had a lot of courage and you had been through the good, bad and the ugly. May I know about your one best moment and one worst moment in life? So this...
My best moment when I fell in love with Bhagwan.
Okay. And the moment, I think the one in which you put your head down on his lap?
Exactly. Oh, you have read my autobiography, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have done my homework well.
Wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am. And the worst one, the worst moment?
In that sense, I have had no worst moment, because every moment I have had, I had made good use of it.
Wow.
And I have tried to deal with the situation.
Okay.
But if you want to know, still a bad moment, then that was the moment when I decided I'm incapable of serving Bhagwan on his term, and I left.
It's quite explainable with the level
Yeah,
of affection you had for him.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, will it be rightful to say that you had this never quit attitude towards life? You tried to make the best even from the worst moments. Will it be right to
That's
say?
right. So I remember seeing my parents also. We children, we were six siblings, we were unaware of their difficult time as they were living in their life and raising us children. They never displayed annoyance or difficult times of their time.
Okay.
And they always dealt with their life and their situation.
Okay.
They had us children into their focus, and they wanted us to learn a lot. So they were very busy trying to guide us towards a place where you learn.
Wow. So will I think this is quite apparent from whatever you shared that you have a lot of resilience, and it's not just you, even your parents had a lot of resilience, and they modeled a good behavior, good resilience to you, which you have acquired from your parents.
That's right. And they introduced us to the right people.
Okay.
For example, we all siblings were exposed to Bhagwan.
Oh,
But I got lucky. I fell in love with him.
yeah, true.
They chose the world, they are living in it, and I chose the world that I wanted to live in it. So living with them was always a joy for us. We did also quite a lot of sport, etc., together with education. So bodily also we are strong, maybe not at 76 years of age, but then when we were
Oh,
young, we were quite strong.
okay. So you were raised well. So this, I should not shy away from sharing again and again that good parenting makes really mentally sound children.
Absolutely. What is happening nowadays, people start having children without recognizing what they have to offer to the children.
Very true.
And if you can't offer something to children, then better is to wait and plan till you understand
Very true, ma'am.
what it is to be a parent.
Yes. You need a
And
certain
what
level of emotional maturity as a parent.
right and what you can offer your children.
Yeah, true.
So I recommend all young people become stable first yourself.
Yeah,
And then engage in taking more responsibility.
very true. I really love your energy. It's very easygoing, it's very free flowing. And I think this is what true spirituality embodies, because spirituality is not something which can be seen in imaginations or something seen as light. People hallucinate a lot in the name of spirituality, and I have seen a lot of clients which come to me who hallucinate in the name of spirituality, and they come up with very weird and distorted ideas of spirituality. I would also like to inquire as my second question, a third question to you about what true spirituality looks like, because you have lived quite a spiritual life from my perspective. But what does true spirituality looks like? Like, how do you identify a truly spiritual being if that person happens to come in front of you?
For me, it was easy. The love I felt was divine.
Yeah,
Now, talk about today's spirituality. I think it's a fashion.
true.
Everybody wants to be spiritual. Everybody wants to have a cafe clutch where they want to talk about how advanced their spirituality is. But their spirituality is skin deep. You drop a coffee or some food on your clothing and you will flare up at the waiter.
True, true.
And you won't recognize how you are humiliating this hardworking person.
No empathy.
No empathy. So for me, spirituality is I am there for you.
Yeah.
And you are there for me. I look at you at the same eye level. I respect you. You respect me.
Yeah.
And it happens somebody doesn't respect because they forgot to respect. Ignore.
Yes.
Don't
Instead
take
of
it
firing back at them,
personally.
it's better to ignore.
Yeah. Don't take it personally.
So much to learn. I think I have to learn so much, yet to learn so much in life.
We all have to learn and continue to learn till the last moment.
Yes, that's so true. Learning never stops.
Exactly.
So, your idea of spirituality is having an equanimous mindset, maybe most of the times or all the time, to have empathy and maintain your peace of mind. I think that is what you're talking about.
Well, what helps me or what works with me is being the way that don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally. Okay. I'll remember this
When you
adage.
take it personally, then your ego will be hurt.
Yeah. And once you start
And
giving ego reactions, spirituality is vanishes.
then you will go haywire when ego is hurt.
Yeah.
So let the ego sleep.
True.
Don't take it personally. It's not important.
Yes. Beautiful. This is beautiful. So, I'm like on a Sheila, on a day-to-day basis, how do a layman start their first step towards spirituality? What should we be doing, and what kind of thought pattern we must have so that we reach this idea of spirituality very soon on a day-to-day basis?
First, forget spirituality.
Okay.
Be yourself because you are beautiful as you are.
Self-acceptance.
Self acceptance. And then move forward to necessary activities.
Yeah.
You may have activities because of your family,
Yeah.
because of your finances, because of your education. Take these responsibilities as not a demand, but as a form of joy.
Wow.
We don't accept responsibility because we are afraid
Yes.
to take the responsibility. We have too many judgment of the others and other situations.
True.
So we have to leave these judgments behind.
Yeah.
And we don't like activities because we are lazy.
True.
So give yourself a structure.
Yes.
And function in the beginning through the structure. And then once you have found your roots in yourself, then you can become spontaneous.
Wow. Wow. So it's like you are learning to drive a car. So initially you have to take care of the gear, the clutch, the accelerator. You have to think consciously about each and every action which you need to perform. But once you learn it, once the whole function gets automated in your system, then you can become spontaneous while driving. And then that car becomes a part of your body itself.
Right. And you drive your car with a sixth sense.
Yes.
People I see driving in India, they all have sixth sense.
Yes.
If I have to be on Indian road,
It's tough. It's a test. It's a
I
whole
will
new
have a
test.
zero sense.
Yes. And then we Indians can drive a car through the narrowest alleys. And we can even talk on phone while driving, although it's not lawful,
Right.
but still we do. Yeah, that's true, ma'am. So spirituality becomes spontaneous once you keep putting yourself through the structure, through the drill, again and again with an honest mindset.
Honest mindset and thought of the other first.
Yes. Of course, you can't hit person while driving a car.
Uh, when you think of the other's well being,
Yeah.
you already entered the path of spirituality.
Yes. That's where true empathy comes in.
Right.
So beautiful. Such a beautiful elaboration and very simplistic explanation of what true spirituality looks like.
And it is how it is.
Yes.
It will make you feel loved. When you love others,
Hmm.
you feel love for yourself.
Yes.
And you feel you had done something that was worthwhile.
Yes, yes, true. So what you give to others, it comes back to you.
But you don't give it to others to get it back.
That's not the intention.
No.
Yes.
There, the other has nothing to offer in that sense.
Hmm.
You simply avoid expectations.
Yes.
The moment you avoid expectations, you have no reason to be disappointed. And if you don't have disappointment, you won't be depressed.
Very true.
And this is something also people suffer these days on a daily basis with depression and borderline and many other illnesses that are standing in line. I don't hear you.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry, it got muted. Yeah, true. So this leads me to another question. Sheila, have you ever experienced any kind of, because I want to ask this question for the sake of my audience, because as I told you in the beginning, there are a lot of ideas and a lot of beliefs that have generated in their mind, be it black magic, be it spells and hallucinations and lots of things. So, have you experienced any kind of paranormal activity in your life, or have you seen any such hallucinations or something? Or what is your idea on all these things?
No, I am a staunch believer of reality.
Hmm.
And I do not have hallucinations. I don't think in those lines.
Hmm.
Yeah, there might be some issue and I can't figure out how to deal with the issue. So until I have figured it out, I remain with the issue.
Okay.
And normally I have always found the solution.
Okay.
What is the situation there is that the solutions we don't find quickly because we have already prejudged the situation.
Okay.
That it is too difficult, I can't, or how can I? No, you
Somebody
get
has done black
down.
magic on me. Something
Yeah,
is wrong in the situation, air around me. Something like these beliefs we form.
no, this is all useless.
These are the defenses that we create when there is a lot of
Right,
anxiety and we
right.
can't find solutions to our problems, or when we don't have enough resilience to sit with the problem and deal with it.
You deal with it, and
Hmm.
until you deal with it,
Hmm.
don't move forward.
True. It's it's
Don't
so it's
add to your problems.
hmm.
And often what I have noticed that the decisions, when you are on a crossroad,
Hmm.
you decide which way to go. And often we choose the wrong path
Yeah.
on a crossroad. So for me, life is the choice, right choice on a crossroad.
Yes.
In the moment, this choice may look very difficult,
Hmm.
impossible,
Yeah.
but no, you go through it, it becomes easy.
Yes. That is said, na, every decision is difficult in the beginning.
Right. It's like if I would have thought about when I left Bhagwan,
Hmm.
for 14 years I had nothing that was I could call my own, except
Wow.
my work that I did. Materially, I had nothing. I walked out of there and I think I had 10 Deutschmark or something. Nothing much. I was just out of prison also without anything. And I have to begin. All I had as an asset was my Swiss passport.
My goodness.
Nothing material, no friends around, nothing.
And then how did you manage post all the that? I think that was the nadir of your life.
I started first, I had to become stable in myself. I had to look at my own values. What is important?
Yeah.
The most important value that came that I want my father, mother not to die feeling that their last child had a packing problem with life. I didn't want them to have. Okay, so what do I have to do? Get back on my feet again.
Okay.
The same feet that built the city, you have to get back on that feet.
Wow. The level of courage you had.
Yeah, and then I worked for 9 months as a dog walker and a caretaker of an old couple. And there I got idea that create a home.
Okay. And then how did you manage your finances?
What I earned for 9 months, I put that earning in renting a house, then making it comfortable, furniture and all that, in a decoration. And I bought the small portion of money that was still there, refrigerator and food.
Okay. And you were still alone?
Nothing fancy, yet very comfortable setup.
Okay.
And I started looking for people who needed help. And in first month, I found 2 people.
Okay.
And like that, I moved forward. And by doing it and setting it up, I learned how to take care of all. Near Bhagwan, we were all very young and we had no time for old people at all.
Yeah.
Though we were aware of it, that today you are young, tomorrow you will be old.
True.
So I began. And now I have very fine concept for my homes. I worked 34 years in the institute, building it up.
Okay.
And where we are government acknowledged home,
Okay.
respected home, and we take care of the most difficult patient of the region.
Okay. So they are the patients who have neurological conditions, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, neurological, psychological issues, and physical also.
Okay. All right.
In my life, now I'm retired last 6-7 months.
Okay.
And in my time from 1990 till 2024, half month, June, I have taken care of about 350 patients, not been educated
Yes.
in field of caretaking, and I had to teach myself as I go along.
Did you're learning on the way?
Yeah.
So your parents always guided you to keep learning. I think this is the same attitude, the same attitude which helped you throughout your life. So this really makes me wonder again and again that how much parenting is important. What a strong position a good parenting holds for children, and why parents these days are disregarding the power of positive parenting.
They are not disregarding. The generations' values have changed.
Yes. Yes.
And these values have become materialistic. People can only talk in millions, billions, and trillions.
That is the only worth
There
to
is
which people
nothing
attach.
else that they feel worth it.
Yes. People have started attaching their worth only to monetary value of anything.
Only.
Yes, that is true.
Only. And this is creating a barrier that brings imbalance in the social life.
Yes, true.
Some have so much, and some have not enough to eat.
Lot of disparity in income distribution.
Right. So, what people have to do with parenting, they have to give social consciousness.
That is very true.
They have to make their children aware of their community.
Yes.
And also the lack of materials. Learn to share. Sharing is very important.
Sharing is really important, yes.
Yeah. So instead of giving them idea of going to temple and give so much money to temple,
Empty spirituality again.
give it to the people who have nothing on the street, so that at least have some food.
So, what does an ideal romantic relationship looks like to you? How should a romantic relationship look like? Maybe a relationship between a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or between husband and wife. How it should look like? A healthy one.
It should be healthy. Romantic situation is you are there for one another. Being there for one another.
Yeah.
It is not a bargain. It is not expectations. And do not try to change one another according to your ego.
Very true.
Often the clashes of relationships are ego clash, that the couple have no patience with one another.
Yeah.
They are loaded with expectations of one another.
True. Very true.
And then on top of it, there are many worldly demands, and finances is always a problem.
Yes. And as you said, that the whole locus of self-worth has been attached to materialism nowadays. So that has certainly increased in relationships also.
Exactly. So first mistake they make is they try to change each other.
Yes.
Second mistake they make, they block communication. Both are fatal mistakes.
Yes.
For relationship.
Yes.
How are you going to move forward?
Yes.
So people don't even recognize that what they have been waiting for romantic moment, before the moment comes, they have already brought it to ruin.
Yes. They've already created walls. Walls of excess
Right.
expectations, walls of not accepting each other, walls of changing each other, and then walls of communication, wrong communication practices.
Blocking communication.
Blocking communication, yes.
So then, how are they going to feel that they have something to remember, something to feel, make them feel worthwhile?
Yes, and this takes them away from the moment. They're not in the moment when they're together. How would they feel the whole essence of love if they are not in the moment?
Right.
Yeah.
So these are the things that people need to remember. How important communication in life is.
Yes.
How important the basic values in life is. And what is our goal? What do we want to achieve?
They must have a same purpose, same goal.
Right. Yeah. And they both have to respect each other's abilities.
True. Mutual respect.
When you lose all this, it's time to go from one another. And that too, don't go feeling bitter.
Yeah.
Go because it doesn't bring any joy anymore.
Yes. So just because you don't have any positive feelings to share with each other, you can move on. But don't move on with a heavy and bitter heart. This is what you're
Right.
That is really beautiful. Like, what if the world starts to live by these ideologies? I think it would be a more peaceful world.
Well, I tell you, in the paradise where I live here, it is that peaceful.
Wow.
We have a team of 25, 26 people, and it functions. What I have learned in Bhagwan's commune works here.
Wow. Learning never goes waste. My grandfather used to tell me, whatever you learn in life, it will come to your rescue someday. It never goes to waste.
It comes very soon to rescue.
Yes. True. And these things certainly have started to make sense once I'm reaching my 40s now, and these things make sense to me a lot now.
You are a young child to me, at 76.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Anyway, so I'm not in my 20s anymore. That scares me.
No, you have to become 90 now.
Yes.
Soon. And time goes very fast.
Yes, it does. Yes. So, what do you think about having peace in relationships? Like, how can a couple strive to bring peace into the relationship which is already conflicted now? What do you suggest?
When they cannot speak with one another, communicate with one another, and they have no respect for one another, don't make children an excuse and continue to live together.
That is a harsh truth.
Move on.
But this seldom happens, especially in our Indian society or traditional societies where women are not so financially independent. They also want a husband for security. It's not just love for which they want a marriage or stay in the home of their husband. So they care a lot about their security, the child security, and this is probably the reason why they choose not to leave the household. They choose to stay back in a loveless marriage. And this also breeds a lot of resentment. This also leads to a lot of domestic abuse, so much of bitterness, so much of negativity, and lots of extramarital affairs have also started cropping up these days because of these things. Because these women form some kind of emotional bonds elsewhere. Even for the men, even they form bonds elsewhere because somehow both of them are not having that kind of a positive moment and feeling in the relationship. They look for it outside the marriage. So, what do you think about such situations?
Well, not to worry about the outside, the marriage situation, because that also will fluctuate in short time. Changing partners will not do much. Yeah. You have to change basically yourself. You have to see the value of marriage and companionship.
Yeah.
When you have understood the value of marriage and companionship, you will work it out. Yes. And work it out positively.
True.
Otherwise, it's a hell for both of them.
Yes.
We don't have to talk about hell after death. We can talk about hell here on earth.
Yes.
And so many couples are living in this hell.
Living hell.
Yeah.
Because they don't have such strong value system. Either quit it, either accept it or change it. I think this is a very strong mantra which we can give to ourselves that if you cannot change a situation, accept it wholeheartedly. And if you can't accept it, you better change it. So people don't do both of it. They just keep hanging in between both of these. They neither accept it completely nor do they have the courage to change it or leave a toxic marriage and then set up a new life for yourself.
I would add one more thing to it, what you just say. It is important people learn from a young age to be self-sufficient.
Very true. This is the most important.
Financially stable.
Yes.
And it can only happen when they drop their expectations of others. Yeah. Or they think Papa will give or Mama will give. No. There you will make the people weak.
Yes.
You will cripple them.
Yes. That is a very important point for Indian household.
Yeah. and they will feel like self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is not, it's not their issue, but it is their issue.
It is an issue.
Yeah. I truly say the amount these marriages have become a fashion issue, and the amount of finances go towards it, and the pressure it brings on the family.
Yeah.
Parents, no woman should want to have that marriage.
That is true.
They can elope.
That is true.
Go have a party somewhere.
Yeah.
And get to know your husband or the wife, whoever.
Yeah.
But don't waste your precious earned money there.
Yeah. That is true. What is your advice to young girls and boys? Because when I do adolescent counseling, I see that young children have started getting into relationships as early as the age of 12 and 13 now. So, what will be your advice to a young teenager in that case when it comes to relationships from their perspective?
It is often physiological.
Yeah.
And people have to be explained about the physiology of young men and young women. They have to openly be explained about dangers of it, the possibilities of responsibilities that will come with it. There will be a social rejection of them, and an end. And these young people have to be made clear, engage in activities only if you are self-sufficient financially.
Okay, but that is not possible at this young age.
I
shouldn't.
know.
So they shouldn't be, yes. Because
Yeah,
everything has a consequence.
But they have to be made clear.
Yeah.
And where I see bigger problem is with rich children.
Yes.
There is a unspoken attitude that when you are a rich man's son, you can do whatever you want to do.
Entitlement.
Right. And that has to be broken.
Yes.
That idea has to be broken and made clear that that situation will not be accepted. And parents have to be very discreet. I understand they have wealth, they can show their love through wealth.
Yes.
But that's not the love that you should be offering to your children. You should make them capable children.
Yes. So it's likely said that parents are not there to pave the path for children. They are just there to teach them how to walk properly.
Absolutely right. How to walk properly and self-dignity.
Yes, with dignity. Yes, very true. So this also makes me wonder because the main concept of Osho was of Bhagwan. It was don't kill your desires, face them. If I'm not wrong. So when it comes to young children, teenagers, they are exposed to all kind of spiritual knowledge, all kinds of text, even Osho's teachings they read in, maybe they read it halfway, but still they read it. So when they come and argue and they say that, okay, Osho also said, do not kill your desires. So what do we do now? You are telling us to control our desires. So what should be your answer to this?
Don't kill your desire. Bhagwan always spoke about know yourself.
Yes. He also
so said, know and understand your desire. And meditate on it. Are you capable of taking the consequences of it?
Exactly.
Bhagwan was also very strict.
Yes.
You talk of Bhagwan, you tell them Bhagwan did not like lazy people. When it came to meditation, workers were exempt from meditation by calling it work is your worship.
Yes.
And we took it like that also.
Hmm.
That's how come we were able to build a city in short 4 years or 3 years, whatever we did.
Yes, it takes a lot of discipline and dedication to do that.
Exactly.
Had
Bhagwan
you
was,
been guided by your desires, had you been the people who are only ruled by their desires, you would have been very lazy and wasted all the time. This is what I think. If a person at all is too directed through their desires, they are very lazy. So you also had a lot of dedication and discipline, which really motivated you to build such a big community.
exactly. And Bhagwan was never against creative life.
Hmm.
Life can be creative when you are not lazy,
Yeah.
when you bring out your potential.
Yes.
So, anyone uh, who talks of Bhagwan's words, you
Hmm.
tell them Sheila is still alive, she can tell you
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
what it means.
True. True. Very true. This is really that is the main reason why I wanted to connect with you, because teachings, every kind of religious teaching, take it Gita, take it Osho, Bhagwan's teaching, everything is so distorted. People just twist and turn and every kind of thing which is said by an influential figure, and then they make it up to suit their own wishes and demands. So it is very important that you, being a greatest protagonist of Bhagwan's life story, major character from his life. So it was very important to connect with you and to gain first-hand knowledge from your lived experience.
He was a tough taskmaster, I
Yes, he
tell
was
you that.
also a tough taskmaster. That has to be added to every teachings when it comes to desires.
When he raises his one eyebrow,
Hmm.
you know it's time to
Wow.
look within.
Wow.
He was a lot of fun. There was a lot of knowledge, a lot of things to learn from him.
Wow.
But he did not like manipulative people
Hmm.
with their taking Bhagwan's words and twisting them to justify their own shallow, petty desires.
True. This is very, very insightful. And this has to be put forward.
It is.
This kind
And
of manipulation is going on everywhere.
absolutely going on every day now, it's going on.
Hmm.
But when we were working
Hmm.
with Bhagwan closely
Yeah.
on a daily basis, he used to remind us of that. And when he saw somebody manipulative,
Hmm.
any of his follower or visitor, whoever, he would give me order, Sila, throw them out.
Oh, no tolerance.
No, that's a waste of time.
Yes.
They will do damage if you show tolerance or weakness.
Yes.
They
True.
will take your tolerance
Hmm.
as not as a generosity of the heart, but they will take it as weakness.
Wow. This is so true. I also face this kind of situation sometimes in my practice. So there are people who tell me that there are some not all, but some manipulative people who think that if you are a psychologist, you must be having a lot of empathy, you should be having a lot of compassion. And then I do have a lot of empathy and compassion for people who really come for help, who really need it, but not for people who want to manipulate me and gain favors from me, unreasonable favors.
Throw
So
them out.
yes. So they consider my kindness to be weakness. Many a times it
Mhm.
happens.
Exactly.
And this is why boundary setting, the concept of boundary setting becomes very important in all kinds of relationships. And I think Bhagwan was very much aware of boundary setting even years ago, which we are teaching now.
Right. It is so important for to give a structure, give a boundary, but do not be rigid. That is the
Yes.
other aspect.
Yes.
Have the eye to see, is that movable?
Yeah.
And if somebody is making a progress,
Hmm.
then don't hesitate to move the boundary.
Yes. So set boundaries and also be flexible, to put it in
Beef.
one line.
Exactly.
Wow. And this is actually something which is like leading me to every concept of good relationships, establishing good relationships with your children, with your spouse, with people around you, even with neighbors. You need to have
Right.
boundaries, but then you also need to be flexible. Like you can tell your neighbors not to ring your bell after 10 o'clock in the night, maybe. But you have to be flexible also. Like if the neighbor needs you at 3 a.m. in the midnight, then you are also open to opening up the door and helping them, reaching out to them.
I would add one more person
Yes.
in consideration of the family and this Indian setup of a household.
Yes.
There are domestic workers,
Yes, lot of.
lot of, and I request all the people who have
Hmm.
domestic workers not to forget they are human
Yes, very important.
and don't humiliate them by talking low to them.
Hmm.
It is so important. Yeah, so they made some spots on your favorite sari. Happens.
Yes,
Don't take their bread away because of it.
yes. This is very important. Very basic, very mundane, but very important to know and learn.
Right. Not for a second forget that they are humans.
True. And people forget it and then they talk about spirituality and big ideas and lots of rituals and worships and lots of things. Lots of distortions have come.
Exactly.
In fact, every good idea has become distorted. So we need people like you who can again remind us about what true spirituality, true romance, true relationship, true love looks like.
Maybe in one of these talks, I say one right thing and one right person listens to it. It
Yes,
is a revolution.
true, very true. And you don't know when anything, a single word you have said can be of can work like a straw to rescue somebody from drowning. Like
Yeah, um, I have had number of people write to me that they watched Wild Wild Country and they were in a deep down in dumps with their depression, and they heard me say, "I don't need a paradise. I create my own paradise,"
hmm,
or something like that. Now I don't know what I have said,
hmm,
and that gave them the first spark to get out of their bed.
yes.
So I am available whenever anybody needs me. And you, Rashi, feel free to call or ask on WhatsApp.
Certainly, I would stay in
Uh,
touch with you.
yeah, when you're having a problem with a patient of yours or so, I have lot of experience of it.
Because I have seen most of your podcasts and I have seen you talk about him, and every time you have only positive things to tell about him.
But that is true. I only have positive,
Yes.
right? And then I left him. Then there was a lot of media. It was international love affair story
Hmm.
of me and Bhagwan. And suddenly it comes out with new name, Osho. But
Okay.
I don't relate to that name.
Okay. 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 Okay.
For
Then I
me,
would stick to Bhagwan.
right. For me, he was Bhagwan of my heart, and
Hmm.
he remains to be Bhagwan of my heart.
Beautiful. That is really wonderful. So, how do you think now, like if I talk specifically about young parents, parents who have children who are under 5 years of age? So, just one advice you have for young parents, how do they need to shift their perspective so that they provide good parenting to, to their kids?
It depends on their living situation
Okay.
to begin with,
Hmm.
but there are basic values that
Hmm.
one cannot ignore
Hmm.
in life, which is courage, freedom, quality of the work, whatever work you do.
Okay.
Parents have to show the children they are producing quality. They have given birth to this child who is a quality child. They would not trade that child for anything. That is their hard work.
Yes.
Similarly, the children need to hear these words over and over again and explain what is freedom. Freedom is not what you have some idea in the head and you go out and do it.
Yes.
Freedom means take responsibility. When you take responsibility, you are free. Without it, you're not free because you're burdened by it.
Yes. So freedom and responsibility are two sides of the same coin.
Same coin, and both are very essential in life.
Yes. So parents need to teach this to their young ones.
Right.
And one more thing, like what are the three most important qualities that you think you have acquired from Bhagwan?
I have acquired from Bhagwan not to judge.
Not to judge, yes, very important.
Is one quality. Another quality, you are on a crossroad, you find your own solution.
And that also involves taking responsibility for your own decisions.
Right.
Not blaming when you fail.
No, he doesn't. Mine and his chaos relationship at the end, where he says a lot of nasty things and all that, it doesn't fall in this category.
Okay.
It doesn't guide me or it doesn't rule me to be other than I am.
Yes.
Because of his unhappiness that he had disclosed.
Yeah.
And the third thing was be myself, be
Stay
yourself.
true to what you are.
Yeah.
Wow. So that is not to judge, first one. The second one is decide for yourself when you are at the crossroads. And the third one is to be yourself.
To be myself, to be yourself.
Very important and very powerful, I would say. There is a lot of power, lots of power in these words.
Definitely, it has a lot of power.
Yeah, because children look up to their parents for all the decisions, big and small. And when they grow up, they look up to their partner for all the decisions. They don't take accountability. They lack accountability.
Absolutely, they lack accountability. And also they lack accountability for their own mistake.
Yes.
Not a partner's mistake, but their own analysis of their situation in life.
Absolutely correct. And then they end up seeking empty validation from people like, okay, you are right, you're not wrong, your partner is wrong, or your parents are wrong. This is the biggest problem of children nowadays because most of them blame their parents that they have given them trauma in childhood. And this really
it's sad. And that is again a situation of blaming. Instead of taking responsibility, you pass the buck, you blame the other.
Yeah.
I am perfect. It is the other who is not perfect.
Yes, yes.
And that tendency they should not encourage in children.
Yes.
They should learn to reflect from young age.
Yes.
About their own
imperfections.
Yeah, whatever the issue is, learn to
reflect,
decipher it, learn to analyze it.
Yes, yes. So I always ask my clients this question that what is one thing you want to change about yourself? Or before sleeping, ask yourself, what was one thing I could have done differently today?
Right. Important.
Yes.
Important to reflect. And I remember my father used to tell us from 5 years old I was. So my brother and sister were more older. He used to tell us introspection.
Introspection, yes, very important.
And the first time I understood the true meaning of introspection when I was working with Bhagwan one evening on a architectural design of a building that we wanted to create in the ranch.
Okay.
And Bhagwan asked me, he said, Sheela, what is your idea about this architectural drawing?
Yes.
And I said, Bhagwan, I want this entrance to
Hmm.
be such
Okay.
that everyone takes second look at it.
Okay.
And he said, that is what it means to introspect,
Okay.
re-inspect.
Hmm.
And that is the correct way to look at
Hmm.
what you want to create.
Yes, true.
Take a second look at it. You stand at the gate of this beautiful structure and you look at it and you have to relook it.
Yes. Just one more question I have. So we have discussed about a lot of life skills which teenagers, little children, and parents need to teach their children and also acquire in themselves. It was from resilience to courage to faith, introspection, taking responsibility, taking accountability of your actions. So we have discussed a lot of things so far. One thing I would like to also learn from you about Bhagwan's dynamic meditation. So, can it be said that it is something closer to somatic work in psychology, the dynamic meditation?
As I remember and as I have heard number of times Bhagwan explain,
Hmm.
dynamic meditation was created by him for modern man
Yes.
to relieve stress. And one of the important thing is this heavy breathing.
Yes. Heavy breathing.
This heavy breathing uh, that will give oxygen in the
Hmm.
body.
Hmm.
Then there were 4 stages. I don't do meditation, so I don't really think much about it. Have you read my book, Don't Kill Him?
I have not read the book, but I would certainly read it.
Okay, there I explain exactly how Bhagwan meant dynamic meditation to
Okay.
be.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I quickly explain to you,
Yes.
it
Yes.
was from modern men's professionals
Yes. Because there
to
is so much
build it.
stress in modern world.
Yeah, exactly. And it was quite successful.
Yes.
It is like going and doing a workout in a sports studio.
Hmm. Yes.
Bhagwan was selling this technique as a spiritual meditation,
Hmm.
but behind it was the psychology of modern man.
Very true, very true. And when I experienced dynamic meditation, I went for
Mm.
an Osho's workshop of 3 days, and I experienced the dynamic meditation and all the activities that entail in this. In that, I also I see close links between dynamic meditation and somatic work, which we teach our clients in psychotherapy. So that also involves releasing of your excess energy, and then connecting with your body, and then the movements, and then the breath work. So it is something, it was kind of a cheat code, I think, that Bhagwan cracked years ago.
Yeah, in 70s or not 70s, 60s,
Yes, it was a cheat code
end of
because modern
60s.
man cannot just sit down and meditate. They need to release the energy first.
And they were, the professionals were lazy. They weren't doing any bodily activities.
Hmm.
And that was necessary because they were sitting on their desktop. No, there were no computers at that time,
Yeah, yes.
but they were doing desk work and so on, with writing and things.
Hmm.
And they needed to move their
Yeah,
energy.
yeah, yes. But this is really intelligent of him.
Ah, the man was a genius.
Yes. He was a genius, certainly.
Yeah.
And there is some kind of mysticism and spirituality in every genius.
Well, they have to sell their product. They have to have that.
True. Yes. All right. I think this calls for the end of our interview. And Sheila, this is really, really, I can't explain how much gratitude I hold in my heart for you to learn from people who have more experience than me. I would not prefer to call you older than me, but I would say people who has more experience than me. Because
Both. You can call me both. I
okay.
represent both.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't thank me. It is my pleasure
Okay.
to talk to a nice young lady sitting in front of me.
Thank you.